In this video, we're going to see the general settings of the Oxygen Builder. Hi, my name is Stratos and I'm constantly producing video tutorials about WordPress. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. In the previous video, we saw the layout of the builder and how it looks, and in this video, we're going to take a look to the global settings of the builder. Now, for me, the global settings is the first thing that I touch when I start creating a page. It doesn't matter if you are going to start with a template or a page directly. What I do is go inside the Oxygen and then go straight to the global settings and start changing the things that I want. So in order to access the settings, we're going to go into the Manage and we're going into Settings. This will open up three options. As you can see, this is the page settings, this is the editor settings, and this is the global settings. This is what we're going to change today. So let's click the global settings, and here we can see some options that we can change. First, we have the colors. So once you click the colors, we have the colors that we can add, and these are the colors that we're going to use in order to style the website. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that you cannot add those colors later on, or you cannot do that in a different way. You can go into the text color that says here, click here the text color, type a code, or select here a color, and then once you have a color, you can click here and have it global, so it will go here where it says global settings. This is the same thing, but this is something that I do for my convenience, and I think it's something that you can start doing once you're going to create a new project. So we're going into global colors, and then we are going to add color. Now, how many colors you want to create in a website? There is no answer that is right or wrong, but keep in mind that you will not go and add too many colors and give all the rainbow colors inside here. You have to go for a primary color, which is basically a color that you will grab maybe from the logo. This is what we usually do, which can be a red, a blue, or something. Keep in mind that if your client doesn't have a logo, you will maybe have to do it yourself. And I'm not an expert in colors, but you will have to go to a color that reminds the website and the content that you are going to create. So whenever you create a website, you want the feeling of the product or the service that you are going to provide to the client, to the visitor. So if you're going for a nature, for something that will go for like a travel or something for hiking or something else, you may go for a green color. If you're going for a vacational website, you're going for blue, which is the color of the sea. If you're going for something like jewelry or something like that, you will go with the black because it's a luxury color. So you will have the same feeling when you visit the site. Of course, I usually say to my client, provide me the colors, because I'm not someone that you can trust with that, but there are many cases that I will have to come up with the colors. Now, whenever you feel ready, you can start going inside here and choosing the color that you want, slide here and change another color, and then have it and grab something different. You can go and select the hex code if you know the hex code directly here, or you can go and grab something from a website. There are many websites that they can give you colors and something that it's for the hover color and for something like an accent color, and make some common matches between colors. There are many websites that you can look from Google, and if you type colors for websites, you can find many pages for that. And if you have your colors, then you can go and start adding them. We're going to add 3 or 4 colors, and we're going to name those. So let's start with the blue. This is the blue, and this is my main blue. I'm going to name it as main blue. Of course, the name is just for you to know what you're adding. It doesn't matter what you add here. Add color, and now we have the main blue, which is here. Then we can click add color and add the next color, which will be something a little bit different than this. And let's add that. Sorry, this is the name. And paste it here. Okay, and then click here, and I'm going for a little bit of lighter. So something like that. And this will be my hover blue. So this is when I hover over to a button and I want to see a different color from the main color, just for the visitor to know that this is an interaction with the button or something. So we have the hover blue. Then you can add a color that will be something like an off-white, because in many cases you will need something a little bit different from the white color just to separate the section, the one section from the other. You don't want two sections, one underneath the other, and they both have the white color. You need to have a little bit different color to the second section. So we're going for a white, and then we're going to go a little bit lower, something like this. So this is my off-white color. And let's add another color, and we're going to change that to black, because I need something for the text. So this is my text, or I can put something different, but usually my heading will be black color. For the content, we'll put it right in the settings. They have a color for the content, but this is for the text, for the heading. And let's add another color, and this will be my accent color, which will be a little bit different from the blue. So let's go for an accent color, and let's go for, I don't know, I'm pretty awful with colors, as I've said, something like that. I don't know if they match, but I'm going to do that as an accent color. Of course, you can add as many colors as you want. There is no limit on how many you want to add. You can add, no, you want to add. There is a limit on how many colors you want to add, but there's no limit on how many colors you can actually add here. Now, something that is very good that you have inside the Oxygen is the capability to change a color, and everything that is assigned to this color will change automatically. So if I go to this button and go into the button color that says here and select that blue color, you will see that that color is now assigned to this button. But if I go here, let's grab that to have it, and go and change the color to something different, you can see that the button changes immediately. So every element that is assigned to that global color will change automatically. And that means to the whole website, not the page that I'm working inside here. So if you create something for a client, and that client later on decides that he doesn't like exactly that color, but he wants to change it a little bit, you don't have to go to every button, every icon, everywhere that you have added that color and change it. You need just to go into the global settings and change the color from there. And this is something that is really great, and this is why I'm telling you, because you need to use the global settings for that. This is an awesome thing, and if you may happen to find a client that needs to change something, you will see that it will save you a lot of time. And of course, we can delete the color that we don't want or add any other colors that we want. All the colors are added inside here, and if we want to add a color manually from here, we can do it exactly with the same way, just selecting the color that you want and then clicking here, and then you can select the color name and then select it as a global color, as you can see here, and click add. I'm going to click outside, and this is the global colors. Let's go back again, and then we have the fonts. We're going to see that we have two fonts here, display font and text font, and this is the font for the headings, and this is the font for the content, for the paragraph element. So what you choose here will be automatically assigned for all the headings, and once you click something here, select something here, it will be automatically assigned for the content, for the paragraph element. And again, of course, if your client later on changes his mind and say that he wants a different font for the content, you can just go ahead and change here the font that you want, and it will be automatically changed everywhere. So let's go and add here the Roboto. Roboto consent, that's what I'm going to change, and here I'm going for the Ubuntu. Again, there are websites that can give you some advice on what matches you can go for the header and the text font, and you can go and search into Google and you will find some things. Also, you can add another font for the accent or something else, and you can style it whenever you want. Here you can go for an accent and you can click OK and then go and select the accent. This is the accent font, and select something that you want. Keep in mind that Oxygen has all the Google fonts that you want inside here, but if you want to add a custom font, there is a way, but we were going to see it in another video. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to click OK here. I don't want a third font. And then we have here the weights, as it says here. I'm going to click weights that says here. And as you can see, I have only the regular in here in the Ubuntu consent, because this is what Google offers us. So let's select the Ubuntu, just to have something different here. And as you can see, we have all the weights here. I'm going to select the weights that I'm going to use. I'm going to select the 500, I'm going to select the regular, and the 700, which is the bold, semi-bold, and the regular. I'm not going to select the italic, I'm not going to select anything else. This means that every other weight will be removed. So it's not going to have the option for something different, and it will remove everything else, and this means that we will be a little bit lighter. This is like a tip. So we're going to do the same with the text font. We're going to use the regular, we're going to use the 700, and I don't have a 500 for the text, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to click save, and we can go to the next setting. Let's go and see. This is the headings. So here you can change the size for the heading. Again, this is a global settings. Everything else inside here is a global setting of score, because we are in the global setting. And the same goes here. Whenever you change something, it will go into the whole website and change it. So we can change the font size for the H1. This is an H1. If I click here, I can see that this is an H1 and currently is in 36. So I can go for 40 and it will change the heading size. If I go with the arrow up, you will see the different live, so you can see what is changing. Of course, we can change the height, the font size here for the specific heading by going into here and selecting that we want that to be 30 and not 50. But if we have this empty, this will take the default settings, which is the 50. And this is a great way to set the size that you want for the whole website. In most cases, I'm not going to change anything inside here. I like how it is styled, but you can go and make some changings and write them down, because you are going to use that a lot. If you find some settings that you like and some sizings that you like, in most cases you will use the same every time. We have the line height, which I don't usually change. I'm not going to do anything inside here, but you can. And also you can change the colors as well here. Of course, I'm not going to. Let's go back and let's go to the body text. This is where you can change the content. So we're going to add a text element just to have something inside here. And let's add a text element. And this is the content, the text element. And as you can see, this is the font size of 16. I usually put that in 17. I like the height of the 17. Then I'm going to the font weight, and I can put that 500 or 400. This is the normal. This is the bold that we have, but my font doesn't include the 500, so I have the same as the 400. If I go to the 700, you can see the difference. So I'm going to leave it as 400, which is the regular. And for the line height, I like to put it 1.7. This doesn't look anything different because you don't have a different line. But if I go and start typing here, bear with me a moment. I'm going to add some content inside here. Okay, the second line, and as you can see, the distance between those lines are the line height. So if I go here and put a number like 3 or 4, you will see the distance between those two lines. So I do like the 1.7 better than the 1.6. And then we have the color, which is the default color of the text. I usually go and put that all the way to black. And this is what I usually do. I'm not going to use the global colors because this is a global color. I'm in the settings. But if you have a different color for the default color of the content, please go and put it here. Okay, next we have the links. This is the color of the links and all the settings that you have for the links. This is something that I usually do not change, but the most common one is the text link and the link wrapper, and that's the color of the links inside a text. So if I go here, triple click that, or click here, and then click the hyperlink, not this one, sorry, this one, which is the hyperlink, and then put something like a Google, okay, .com. This word has a link now, and if I click OK and click outside, you will see that now it's a little bit a light blue. So you can change the color here in the text link, and of course the hyperlink, and you can change the link wrapper if you're going to use the link wrapper. It's an element, and it's right here, the link wrapper. Of course, since I do not use many times the links inside my Word, I use buttons to add links, and this is what you're supposed to do. I don't usually change anything here. For the buttons, you can go and select the font weight and the border radius, which it's just basic features. We're going to see different way to style the buttons later on. Don't worry about that. So let's go to the next one, which is the width and the breakpoints. Now, the page width means how many pixels will go for the content, for the beginning of the logo until the end of the menu, for the text that you have inside the pages. That's the width, not the width of the whole page, the width of the content. Usually we have something for a background, we have some content inside a section, and the content is not from the beginning of the page until the end of that. It's in a box, and this says that this box will be 1120 pixels. Let's go to a website like Apple or Amazon, or I don't know. Let's go for Apple. And let's go for Apple, and you will see what I mean. So this is the content. I'm going for the beginning of the logo until the end of the search button right here. If I go and scroll down, you will see that the content here is basically the same. The line here begins from the beginning of the logo until the end of the search here. Of course, there are some sections that go full width, and this is because they like the layout. It's nice, but if you go inside here and you start reading something, you will see that everything, sorry for the Greek language, you will see that everything inside here are inside the same box. It's not going from the beginning until the end of the page. And I think they're way too big for a website, but doesn't matter. Let's go to something else like Skype. Okay, Skype.com. I hope it's not in English, not in Greek, but it's going for, let's go for US. Maybe it will go into, okay, English. And as you can see, this is the beginning of the logo until the end here. And this is the content that I'm talking about. If you can see, this is the footer, and it has the same box, the same width. If I go to a post and click here, learn more, I can see that everything is starting from here and going until here. And you can see that they are aligned with the sign-in logo and the logo of the Microsoft right here. So this is the width that you're going to use for the content. And this is something that they offer, many times people ask me which is the best number that you can use. For me, it's something below 1366. And let me tell you why. If we go here and we go for laptop screen resolutions, laptop screen resolutions, we'll see that most common laptops will carry a width, will have a width of 1366 pixels in width. These are the most common laptops. An average laptop will have this width. There are many laptops that they may have Full HD or QHD or 4K or something else, but most laptops will have something like that. So basically you will have to cover the basic, and the most visitors that will come in your website will have something like that. Of course, they may have a bigger screen, but you have to cover this resolution for me. So Usually I put something less than that because I want to have something in the left side of the page and something for the right side of the page. If I put here 1366, that means that the content of the website will go from from the beginning to the end of the box. And if someone comes with that screen, he will have the content from the one end of the screen until the end. He will not see the layout that I want for them to see. He will not see the background as I want it. He will not see a box. He will see everything across the whole website, across the whole screen. Sorry. So usually I will put here 1200, and this is my number that I'm going to start. Usually I will start with that. If my client has a bigger menu and he will need a bigger number here, I may put here 1300, but usually I put here 1200. And this is my starting point. After that, we have the tablet and landscape and portrait. And this means when the screen will break to a different version. So if someone comes from a laptop, he will see a different version of the website. He will see that the headings are smaller. He will see that the padding is not so big. The margin is not so big. He will see some differences in the layout because we want the layout to fit in a smaller screen. And when it's going to break in the 992 pixels width, I leave those as they are. I never change those because I do like the numbers here. Of course, you can change whatever you want here. Now here it says after you change the breakpoints, you must regenerate CSS cache, and this means that it will ask you to regenerate the CSS, and it will do it as well as changing something else inside the global styles. If you change the color, it will ask you to regenerate the CSS cache. If you change something like a heading, it will do the same. It's not specific for that. Okay, let's go outside, and the next one is the section and columns. So this is the default width, the default padding inside a section. So whenever you add a section, you will end up, let's go to advanced and sizing and spacing, and you will see that we have the 75, 75, 20, and 20, and these are the settings in here. And this is the padding that we have for for every section. This means that whenever you add a section and inside the section then you add a heading, it will not go to the beginning of the section. It will leave a little bit of space and it will start in the 75 pixel padding. Also, once the page will end for the section, it will have a padding of 75. You can change that, but for me, it's something that I do like, and I do like to have the 75 pixels inside here. The 20 pixels in the left means that it will not start from the beginning of the width. Of course, it's not the beginning of the page. Remember that we have some box that we have the content inside here. So we have the 1200 content, and this means that we'll also have 20 pixels margin underneath. After that, this is something that you need to have when you style for a mobile. So if you put here 0, it will look okay when you're editing in a PC, but once you go to the mobile version, you will see that it will need some padding inside here. So for me, leave it as it is or go for a 10 pixels. Do not go for something less than a 10 pixels. Unless you want to go in every section and edit that in the mobile version for everything. Then we have the column padding, which is basically the padding that whenever you add columns, and let's add 2 columns, you will see that this column will have basically a padding of 20. You cannot see it here, but it's not 0. If I add here a heading or a text, you will see that it has some padding inside here and here. So if I go to advanced, sorry, let me select the column first. So if I go to advanced and sizing and spacing, and once I put here 0, you will see that now it goes into the 0 padding. So it will always leave a 20 pixels inside here. This is something that I always leave as it is because I usually do that from the column itself. So next we have the animate on scroll. Let's click that, and you can see that we have some settings for the animation. So basically, whenever you want to add something that moves when you visit the page, It doesn't matter if it's when you visit the page or when you see it in your screen, or whenever you change the mouse and different version or something else. It's every motion that we have, so we can set some settings for everything. I usually put here for the animation duration 1000 milliseconds, so this is 1 second, and this is the duration of the motion, and this of course is the default settings. And then at the animation anchor, I usually leave it as it is. I'm not going to change this. And animation easing, I usually put here ease in out, and this means that it will ease the motion of the effect, the motion of the element, and it will go easier inside and slow down at the last moment. It's better in the eyes. I usually do not change anything else here, and the animation delay and animate only once, I put that in yes, and disable on, I put that less than 992. So whenever someone visits from a tablet, I don't want to see the animation. The animate only once means that whenever someone scrolls down, and if he scrolls up again, he will not see the same elements animate again and come from the bottom of the page or the top of the page or anywhere else. I don't want the animation to take place every time someone scrolls down and up. And usually I put that as it is. Everything else can be changed independently in the element. Let's save that and let's go back. Of course, you don't have to save every time you change something. You can style everything and then save once, but usually I do that every 5 minutes or so. And then we have lastly the scripts. The script, we only have one, which is the smooth scroll to hash links. And this basically means that if you click in a button and this button will go and scroll the page automatically somewhere else, this will do it smoothly, and the visitor will see the scrolling and will not jump directly to the point that you want. It's basically something better to have than magically the element appears on your screen. It's smooth scrolling to the element that you want. So you can select that, and then you can select the scroll time. I usually do not change that. If you want smooth scrolling, just enable that and you're good to go. Okay, that was the video for the global settings, and of course we're going to do another video for the classes, which will understand how we can set some settings and use them for every element. So that was the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like that. I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.